It's that time again where I predict the Premier League season and make a fool of myself. Last year, I definitely did not put Nottingham Forest to get relegated. We'll move on from that very swiftly. We'll start with relegation and we'll move up the list. And to be honest, I think I have a very unbiased view of the Premier League, and I think my reasons for where teams are where they're going to be, I think they're fairly valid. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. But moving on, unfortunately, I'm going to be a bit boring. I think the 3 teams that go up will be the 3 teams that go down. I think it will happen again. I think it's like the 3rd year in a row that this could happen. And as sad as it is, I just don't see a world where that doesn't happen. I think Burnley have not invested well. Burnley didn't score many goals last year. They got like a ridiculous amount of 0-0 draws last season. They don't play football, I think, that is sustainable to be in the Premier League, and I think they will be in last place. The one I have the most hope for is Sunderland. Sunderland have made a lot of signings, as well as Leeds United, but I think Sunderland with the likes of Granit Xhaka actually have more hope for. I think Adingra, as well as Gio, I think is how you pronounce his name, from Chelsea. I think they're good signings too. I know Gio's on loan, but I think there's more hope basically for Sunderland to stay up. Will they stay up? I still don't think so. I think we've seen many teams come up in the last few years where they spend a lot of money and it's still not enough. I mean, the last bottom 3 didn't even crack 30 points, so I just don't see a world where we get a miracle. The one team that could help them do it is Brentford. Now, I know it is like the in thing right now to say Brentford could struggle, but you lose Mbuemo, you're probably going to lose Wissa. I mean, that team is starting to fall apart at the seams a little bit. If you are a Brentford fan, you probably are a little bit worried. Where are your goals going to come from? Is that simple, really, the question? I still think they're good enough to stay up. Unfortunately, what we have now is the Super League in the Premier League. I think you can take away Brentford's best players and they're still fine. And I actually think that's a shame. I think it is sad to actually see the same teams always stay up, because I like new teams doing well. You have to like basically break the rules like Forest did and overspend in order to give yourself a chance. And I don't think any team will do that again, because the Premier League will probably come down on them like a ton of bricks. 16th, I'm going Wolves. They lost Cunha. Cunha is literally top goal scorer. This will be a common theme with teams down the bottom. If you lose a good player, you're probably not going to do as well. Wolves can buy whoever they want. Cunha, I doubt they're going to replace the goals he scored. You know, it's also important to mention Ait-Nouri's also left Wolves, like 2 major players going. I just don't see a world where Wolves are outside of this. I'd say a relegation battle. I still don't think they're anywhere near going down, because the bottom 3, I just think, are that poor. Fulham are boring. Fulham haven't really bought anyone. I don't think anyone has left Fulham. It has been an absolute ghost town in Craven Cottage. I don't know what's going on over there, but I just don't see improvement. But if no one really leaves, that's important. Is that a bad thing either? I think it's just same old Fulham, unfortunately, and I think a lot of Fulham fans will agree. Now, West Ham bought a ton of players last year, and it didn't really work well for them. They still didn't really do very well. And this year, they've sold Kudus, arguably their best player. It's similar to the whole Brentford and Wolves story. If you're going to lose a top player, you're going to not do amazing. If they lost Bowen, I think they'd be competing down with the likes of Wolves and Brentford. But because Bowen is still a West Ham player, I think they will be around, 13th, 14th place. Next, I'm going Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth have just lost a lot of players. Again, the same story. I don't want to repeat myself, but Kirke's going to Liverpool. You've got Huijsen, who's gone to Real Madrid. That's a lot of players, good players that have gone. I think they're a very good side, and their ownership is incredible, what they've done at a very small team. And they've built a very well-established Premier League side where they get a lot of good players and sell them for profit. But I think if you let too many go in one season, it will have an effect on the league table. 13th isn't a bad season at all if you're Bournemouth. I know they'll be wanting Europe and they'll want to push for that. And maybe some Bournemouth fans won't be happy with 13th that I've given them, but I don't know. I think it's still fair. They have bought in arguably a better goalkeeper from Chelsea in Petrovic, and maybe that will improve their backline, but I just don't see a world where they finish in and around a European spot. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near relegation, though. Some might say Everton in 12th is a little bit rogue, but I mean, they've bought in Jack Grealish, and Grealish outside of a system at Villa, we saw how good he was. A new stadium. I just think there's a lot of things going on that's right with Everton right now, and I think that's why we'll see them around 12th place. It's a good finish for them. Maybe they'll want to fight for Europe at some point, but where they have been in the past, I think 12th is very, very good right now. So next, I'm going Brighton in 11th place. Now, they have just lost João Pedro. They have just spent, though, 40 million on an Olympiacos forward. So maybe he could get the goals Pedro got, but I don't know. It's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old. It's a lot of money. I worry for Brighton a little bit. They're still a very good side, but if you want to fight for Europe, this player has to do well. Like, if you spend the big bucks, he's got to come out good. I don't know. I just think they might miss João Pedro a little bit too much. We'll see. Next, I'm going Forest. I think this one is quite simple. Forest haven't been in Europe in a very long time. It took a big hit on Villa when we were in the Champions League. I know they're going into the Conference League, but it takes a lot out of you. And I don't know if they are ready for that as a squad. They did keep Gibbs White, and I'll give them credit for that and praise. I know it's a bit weird with what they did with the owner and how they did like a weird statement. And I think they're going to see the struggle of playing Europe week in, week out. It's tough for every team. And even in the Conference League, it's going to be difficult. And next, I'm going Crystal Palace. Now, Palace are your quintessential finish 12th every year kind of team. I've got them higher than that. I think Palace are doing really well under Glasner. They've won the Community Shield. They won the FA Cup last year. Onwards and upwards for Palace. Mateta, I think, will do very well this year. And I might have actually undersold them. They could actually be in Europe. They were robbed, in my opinion, of the Europa League. And they might want to get in there properly this year to prove a point. I think they'll compete. I think they'll come close. But I don't think Palace do well against the worser teams. They seem to perform on the big stage, seemingly, against some of the best sides. But I don't know if Palace are quite good enough to be consistent to get Europe. Again, maybe they win the FA Cup again, who knows. But I have a lot of respect for Glasner, and I will hold my hand up and say I think I actually might have got this wrong, and we'll see later. Next, I'm going Newcastle. It is a absolute fire over there. Like, it is horrendous. I would not want to be a Newcastle fan right now. I have a lot of sympathy for their supporters. Isak, their top player, doesn't want to play for them. They can't seem to sign anyone. They've been rejected so many times. There's even a lineup out there that you can go find of players who've rejected Newcastle. Sunderland have bought good players, and Newcastle can't seem to buy anyone. It's a very strange world we live in right now. Their squad is still good, though. And Eddie Howe is still a top manager, one of the best in the league. And I think they will probably miss out. Champions League football takes a lot out of you. You play the best teams in the world. That, along with a squad right now that isn't really being well put together. I don't know what's going on at board level, but it is a bit of disarray. And that could get sorted out. Maybe they sell Isak. Maybe they buy Visser, and everything seems to be A-OK, and I'll look like an idiot in a year's time. But right now, it is a bit of a mess at Newcastle, and I don't see a world where they're in European football next year. Next, I'm going Manchester United. Now, this is actually very kind on United, and I know some United fans will probably be upset that I'm saying they're as low as 7th, but you've got to remember they finished 15th last year, and they were down at the bottom with Spurs for most of the year. Ruben Amorim might be a good manager. He's not a miracle worker. He cannot get a team from 15th to 4th. Right? That's just not going to happen. Are they improving? Yes. Is Sesko going to be a good player at United? Probably. But I still think it's a process and it's a long way to go, and 7th with Europe is a very good way to start. Honestly, it could easily be Palace here or Newcastle, even Forest. I just think United are starting to move in a better direction. They've bought Mbuemo as well. I mean, they've got some good players. They are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. They make insane amounts of money, even if they don't do well every season. It's like a brand, basically, that they've built over there. Which allows them, even in debt, to buy players. And eventually, they're going to sort their problems out. Like, you're going to... Like, you throw enough at the wall, it's going to stick. Like, and I think 7th place will be the start of that. Next, I'm going Villa. Villa have just not really bought anyone because of PSR. We've got Evan Gesson, who signed for around 30 million. And we did a little bit of PSR trickery. I mean, we basically copied what Chelsea did. And we've sorted that out. But it's meant that we've not really bought many people. We've got Bizot as a backup goalkeeper, if you want to count that. And we've sold some academy players. But that's kind of been it. No one's really left. No one's really joined. The squad is good. Probably could do with a right back. Probably could do with a winger. It's not far off from being okay there. And I don't think we've not really improved, and you could argue therefore you stagnate, and therefore you're not. The likelihood is Villa could are more likely to finish lower than higher. So I think 6th place is about where I see Villa finishing under Unai Emery. Maybe we win the Europa League. You never know. Unai Emery's won it more than any manager. Maybe we win a trophy for the first time in my lifetime. Maybe I'm insane. Next, I'm going Spurs. Now, you're going to take what I said about Man United and say, well, why have I put Spurs in 5th? I've just said Amorim isn't a miracle worker. I think winning the Europa League could be one of the biggest highs Tottenham ever have. Tottenham never win anything. They finally win a trophy. They get a new manager who's very, very good, who's kept Brentford in the league and got them competing for years. I think they ride that high all the way into 5th. Yes, it kind of destroys what I say about Man United, but Man United, it's... The feel at the club is still not amazing. They can buy new players, but there's still like a rotten core there. Spurs, I just feel like they're on like cloud 9, and maybe it's delusion at Tottenham. Who cares? They're flying, and I think they'll be in 5th place. It honestly could be Villa 5th, Tottenham 6th. I think these three, will be around each other somewhere. It could even be United 5th. I doubt it, but United 5th, Villa 6th, Spurs 7th. I think it will be somewhat like that. But I think Spurs will do very well, and yeah, I think we'll see that happen. Next, I'm going Chelsea in 4th. Chelsea, I think, will consistently get top 4 now, or you could say top 5, because we'll probably never let go of the Champions League slot in 5th because of how well English teams seem to do in Europe and how much money English teams have. They do well. Palmer's a top player. They won the Club World Cup. Do I think they're a side that's up there for winning the league? No, I don't think they're anywhere near good enough for that. Liam Delap is a good striker. Is he a Premier League winning striker? No, I'm sorry. He's just not the level of Erling Haaland, And even he might not win the league at Man City. That's just where I see it. They're still a good team. They're one of the best in the league, obviously, for them to be in the top 4. I just think they're still a little bit off where they need to be if they want to compete for the very top. And I think most Chelsea fans will agree with me there. Next, Arsenal will not be second because they'll actually be third. The second, again, meme will die. I think Arsenal, they have signed a striker finally, but Mikel Arteta is not a proven winner. Mikel Arteta struggles under the pressure. And we've just seen it time and time again. And I think Gyökeres signing, there's no excuse anymore. He's got the players now. He's blamed injuries in the past. He's blamed not having a striker in the past. He's blamed the ball against Newcastle. Like, he's used every excuse under the sun. He now has a striker. There's no excuse to fight for the league title now, and I still think he'll crumble. He's just not an elite level manager. I'm sorry to the Arsenal fans. Some of your fans agree with me, though. Some of them agree. And if they don't win the league this year, I think more Arsenal fans will be on my side. Glasner at Palace has won as much in his time than Arteta has at Arsenal, and the money Arsenal have spent absolutely swamps Crystal Palace. You'll eventually be on my side. It just might take you some time. Next, it's between Liverpool and Manchester City. I'm actually going rogue. And I don't think many people are going to predict this. I think Manchester City will win the league again. Last year, they were awful, and everyone laughed. I thought it was funny. I think they just had one abysmal year with Rodri getting injured, and they took the year off, essentially. They've bought a lot of players. They've got even more talent. I mean, look at the January transfer window alone. I just don't see a world where City, at the very least, don't compete for the league title. Everyone is saying it's between Arsenal and Liverpool. I think everyone is forgetting how dominant Manchester City can be. And if they can get the ball rolling at the start of the season, I don't see a team stopping them. Liverpool are very good, and I think it'll be close between these two sides. But I think once again, we're going to see Manchester City lift the league title. Do I want that? No. I'd rather it be someone else. But they're just inevitable. They just are inevitable. If you think they're going to go away, then I'm sorry for you. I just think that is a little bit naive. We'll see. Maybe I'm an idiot, and I'll look back in a year's time, and I will probably laugh. What do you guys think? Do you think I've been a bit harsh? If you're a Villa fan, and I do a lot of Villa fan content on here, do you think 6th place is okay? Have I been a little bit too modest? Should I have said Villa to get top 5? Have I underestimated the fact that we've not really bought anyone? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. I'm live, by the way, for Villa against Newcastle. Opening game of the season. Be there. Up the Villa.